A very good morning to all of you. 7th C. Welcome to the biology class, children. Hope you all are fine, children. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So in today's class, we are going to start with a new lesson, lesson number 12, that is reproduction in plants. Fine. So open to page number 135, all of you, quickly. Page number 135, lesson number 12, reproduction in plants. Ready? Please put your cameras on so that I can see you. Please put your speakers on, children. Not your speakers, sorry, your cameras on. Put your speakers off. Put it on only when I ask. Okay. So when we come on, children, put your cameras on. Class 7C. Yes. Quickly, all of you. Or do you want me to call out your names? Put your cameras on. Yes. Now, when we talk about reproduction, children, what do we mean by reproduction? Reproduction is a process which continues life on earth. That means reproducing or giving birth to the young ones or to the same kind, like as of the parent, and giving birth to the same kind as the parent. Fine. So this is what we call as reproduction. Reproduction is a very important process because of it, because of the reproduction, it is possible that we see life on earth. If it would have not been there, if reproduction was not there, then we would have not seen any life on the earth. Like for example, I'll just tell you a very simple, I'll explain you with a very simple example. If you see, like you see mango trees around you, fine, and you enjoy eating nice juicy mangoes in summers, fine. Now just imagine that initially when earth came into, when, like you can say, when life came into existence on earth, at that time, if supposing 10 mango trees were present, fine, and of course after a certain period of time they will die, they will give fruits, they will grow, and after a certain period of time they will die. Now if that those 10 will die, or if those 10 would have died, then was it possible for us to see mango trees now? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No, but we are still able to see them because, why? Because they have given seed. From those seed, new saplings have germinated. Those saplings have turned into new plants and then into new trees. And this is how, in turn, in a cyclic manner, the life continued on earth. Which life? The life of the mango plant, the life of the mango tree. The same way, children, all the animals, all human beings, plants, they all have this characteristic feature. It is one of the very important characteristic feature of the living organism. They reproduce. Fine. Why they reproduce? The logic behind it is that they want to continue the life on earth. That is why they uh, do this process, and that is the reproduction process. Now just think that if I'll just show you an example. Like supposing if you have this mobile, fine, this mobile. Now if I break this mobile into two pieces, yes, the number will increase. This is one, and then it will break into two pieces. But will we call this as reproduction?
No, ma'am.
No, because the number has increased, but the functioning does not remain the same. It has broken, it's useless now, and moreover, the more important thing is this is non-living. The same way, if I take this pencil and I break it into two halves. Again, the quantity, the number increases, but we will not call it reproduction. Why? Because it is a non-living thing. So we need to understand, before understanding further about the chapter, we need to understand that reproduction is a process. Reproduction is a process which is special, which is specific to the living organisms. Only living organisms can reproduce. May it be plants, may it be animals, may it be human beings. So this is one of the important characteristic feature of the living organisms only. This is very important for you to understand. Now, what is the importance? As I have just discussed, that the importance is that it is important because we need to continue life on Earth. And each and every individual, each and every living organism has this in mind. They know this very well, that they have to continue their species, their particular species on Earth. If this doesn't happen, then they will become extinct. They will vanish from Earth. We will not be able to see them. Can you name any one extinct animal?
Dinosaur.
Loud. Yes, you are correct. Repeat.
Dinosaur.
Yes, dinosaur is the correct answer. It is only because they couldn't survive. They all died at one time. Fine. And because of that, the species, the whole community, it came to end. We do not see any more dinosaurs on Earth now. So for life to continue on Earth, it is very, very important that the reproduction process takes place. Any problem till your children?
No, ma'am.
And I expect all of you to speak. I hope it's not that you've just joined the class and left the laptop and the phones like that. If you're physically present there, mentally present there, please listen and answer. All of you. Fine. Now we talk about the first heading that is there in your book and in the chapter, and that is the mode of reproduction. Now see children, right now, what is the mode we are using? What is the mode we are using for teaching and learning process right now? What is it?
Online.
Yes, it's the online classes. Yes. And which language are we using to communicate right now?
English.
English.
Yes, English is the language. So the mode, like supposing if the COVID risk is over, it's all like it's done and everything is okay now, then where are we going to meet? We are going to meet in the
School.
school. And then the teaching learning, what will be the mode of teaching learning process? It will be direct. Yes, you'll be there in the class, I'll be there in the class, we'll be studying with the help of the board and all. Yes, so we'll be meeting directly. So no online, it will be offline then. Fine. So idea behind saying is, in what way is something being conducted, some process is being done. Yes, that is what we call as mode. So when we talk about the reproduction process, children, we have two modes. In which two ways it can be done? There are two ways, and these are asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So for this, you will take a pencil in your hand quickly and you will underline where you see the heading modes of reproduction. The last line of it you will see that line and you will underline these are asexual and sexual reproduction. Please underline that line. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, fine. Now we talk about, okay. Now we talk about the asexual and the sexual reproduction, that what it actually means. Now, since I think it is the first time when you are studying about reproduction, children. Yes? Class 7C. This is the first time when we are talking about reproduction. Have you ever heard about it in your previous classes?
Yes, ma'am. We have studied in previous classes.
In class 6, you have talked about reproduction, but you have not studied about the types. Okay. So what I mean to say is you have to be a little careful when I tell some of the things, because these are important for you to understand, because then only you will be able to understand the later topics. Now, what does it say? The first one, that is the asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction takes place when only one parent is required. One single parent is required. Then we call that type of reproduction as asexual reproduction. Here, male, female are not required. Only one parent is capable of giving birth, you can say, or you can call it as a reproducing young one. Fine. Only one single parent is required. Both the male and the females are not required. So such type of reproduction where involvement of one parent is only there, such type of reproduction is referred to as asexual reproduction. Any problem?
No, ma'am.
No. Now, again, just take your pencil and under the heading asexual reproduction in the first line, you say, just underline, when an offspring is produced by a single parent. Please underline, when an offspring is produced by a single parent. And then further the line says, without the involvement of the gamete. Now, what is gamete? You need to know. Gamete, I'll just tell you when we'll talk about the sexual reproduction. So why now you just understand that when the reproduction process is carried out only by the involvement of one parent, single parent, then it is called as asexual reproduction. Fine. Now, here one more important thing is, children, when the asexual reproduction takes place, something special about it is the exact copy of the parent are formed. Like if I just ask you, suppose like we resemble our parent, either we resemble our father or mother or both of them. Yes, it's like that. But when we talk about the asexual reproduction, here the new individuals which are formed, the new offsprings which are formed, rather we can say, they are the exact replica, exact copy of the parent. So there is no difference in looking. If you look at them, you will not be able to find the difference. So in asexual reproduction, this is a very important characteristic feature, that the offsprings which are formed, they, as it is, they refer to the parent. They look like the parents. So again, underline in the second paragraph, the offsprings in the second paragraph, first line, children, the offsprings produced are not only identical to one another, but are also exact copies of their parents. Please underline that. Till parents.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, next it says that in asexual reproduction. Now see, when like as we know that here we are talking about the plants. Fine. So when we talk about the asexual reproduction, children, here just understand, as I initiated my conversation giving the example of the mango tree. The mango tree, when it gives fruits. From the fruits, what do you get? You get the seed. And when you sow the seed, what comes out? A sapling, which in turn changes into a plant and then into a tree. Now, when we talk about the asexual reproduction, the seeds are not formed. The seeds are not formed. Remember this, that seeds are not formed. Others like spores like structures, these are also not formed. But by the division of the body, whatever the parent body is there, that divides and it reproduces, or you can say it gives rise to more of its own kind. So these few things we have to keep in mind, that when we are talking about the plants especially, we need to know that no seeds are produced. If seeds are produced, if spores are produced, then of course the type of reproduction is not asexual, but it is sexual. So we have learned few things, that one parent is required. Secondly, the important thing is that the new ones which are produced, the new individuals which are produced, they are exact copy of the parent. And the third thing is that here the seeds and the spores are not produced. So these are three important things about the asexual reproduction. So please underline this also. New plants, third line, new plants are produced without the production of seeds or spores. Without the production of the seeds or the spores. Please underline this. Acha. Now we'll talk about, like I just said, that this type of reproduction is here the seed formation does not take place. So now you need to know that in what plants is actually this type of reproduction taking place. Actually, children, here we again come across a new word, and that is lower plants. By lower plants, we do not mean that the plants which are which are less in height. It's not like that. Lower plants mean the plants whose body is very, very simple. The initial level of the plants which first came into existence. These are not advanced plants. Their body design is very, very simple. So such plants which are lower plants, here you can say the reproduction process or the multiplication process is asexual reproduction. Any problem till here, children?
No, ma'am.
All of you, those who are here connected in the call, any problem, anyone?
No, ma'am.
No,
Anyone
ma'am.
wants to ask anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then we proceed further. Next, we talk about the sexual reproduction. See, when we'll be talking about the examples in detail, when we'll be talking about the examples in detail, then you'll understand it a better way. Fine. So here, just try to understand that first. What is the difference? You just take it as a note that yes, ma'am has told these points in asexual reproduction and in sexual reproduction. Later, when we take the example of the sexual and the asexual reproduction, it will be more clear to you. So now we talk about the introduction, again about the introduction of the sexual reproduction. Now, as the word itself, the term itself explains, sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction means where the two opposite sexes are required, that is the male and the female is required. Such type of reproduction, in the asexual reproduction, if you remember, we said that only one parent is involved. But here, when we talk about the sexual reproduction, we see that both the parents, that is the male and the female, both are involved, and with their involvement, the new individuals are produced, and such type of reproduction we refer to as sexual reproduction. I think I'm clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now see. Now, okay. When we say two parents, when we say parents, whom am I talking about? Shraddha, when I say parents, what do I mean? Shraddha, I'm waiting for your answer. When I say parents, if I say your parents, whom am I talking about?
Parents, mother and father.
Yes, your mother and father. That means male and female. We are talking, when we say parents, both the parents, that means we are talking about the mother and the father. Fine. And when there is no mother and father, like when we talk about the plants, of course, then we will say male and female. Both are involved. Now, how they are involved? Now, just be very, very careful. Look at my hands. Now see, male and female, they release some structures. They give out some structures. Like this structure is coming from the male. This structure is coming from the female. I repeat, this structure is coming from male and this structure is coming from female. Fine? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And they both combine. They both combine together and they form a new structure. Now this is the new structure which is formed. Again, this is coming from male, this is coming from female, and they've combined to form a new structure. They combine to form a new structure. Then this is somewhat we call as sexual reproduction. Now, this is structure which I'm saying, this is the sex cell, which is going to combine to form a new structure, and this is going to give rise to a new individual further. So this structure which I was saying, now I will change my terms. The sex cells from the male, sex cell from the female, sex cell from the male, sex cell from the female, they combine together to form a zygote. They form zygote. Now they combine together and they form zygote, and this structure, this zygote, is going to divide and it is going to give rise to a new individual. Yes. And the word gamete, which I say, that I'll be telling you, these sex cells are called the gamete. That means you can say the male gamete, the female gamete, they combine together and they form the zygote. This zygote, this new structure, the zygote, it is going to divide, re-divide, and it is going to form a new individual. Is this much clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm just reading it out for you. Just look at it carefully. When two parents participate in the reproductive process, that also involves the fusion of the male and the female gamete. Now you understand the sex cells, that refers to gamete. It is called sexual reproduction. It involves the formation of the male gamete and the female gamete either by the same individual or by the different individual of the opposite sex. These gametes fuse to form a new structure which is called zygote, and this develops to form a new organism. So this is what we call as, or we refer to as, sexual reproduction. Any problem till here? Have you understood?
Yes, mom.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
if you have actually understood, now your work is to revise it, because when you revise, then it will be more clear to you. Of course, when we'll be doing the examples, when we'll be repeatedly talking about the organisms, that means with the help of the example, when we'll understand, it will be much more clear to you. Yes, but before that, whatever introduction has been given about sexual and asexual reproduction, just revise it once, twice, so that it is here in your mind, so that further when we talk about the same process, taking example of individual, then you are able to understand it a better way. Fine, children. So this is how we have come to the end of today's class. Just keep revising, keep posting your problem if you find any. Until we meet again, take care of yourself, children. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, mom.
Thank you, ma'am.